Welcome to Lesson 7 in Unit 19, Sensing Tsunamis. In this lesson, students will work to answer the question, how can we design warning systems to reduce the impact of tsunamis on people? In this lesson, students use the microbit and Scratch to design and test a tsunami warning system that uses computer coding and sends messages over long distances. Students compare designs with each other, taking into account the criteria and constraints. Students figure out that they can design a tsunami message using sensors and computer programming that is easy for people to understand and can quickly be sent over a long distance. Students make connections to the storyline by understanding tsunami warning systems can be coded and communicated over long distances from the ocean to people's cell phones. There are several opportunities for ELA and social studies cross-curricular connections throughout the lesson. You can look for specific standard connections in the Unit 19 Teacher Guide. This lesson will take approximately 5 to 6 days to complete. In this lesson, students will use Scratch and a microbit to code a tsunami warning. Advanced preparation is needed by the teacher. Please use the tutorial slides for support. These are also embedded in the curriculum slide deck. For the Engage portion, you'll discuss with students how they've learned technology can be used to sense and communicate messages, and ask how they might use this information to design a solution that could reduce the impact of a tsunami on humans. You'll revisit the driving question board, add any new questions, and highlight any others connected to the learning goals of this lesson by calling attention to questions about how we can design warning systems to reduce the impacts of tsunamis on people. A day prior to this activity, you will need to create a Scratch Educator account so that you can add students and track their projects. Through this setup, you will provide them a link to join the Scratch class. Use this Scratch Teacher account PDF linked in the teacher guide to complete the setup. There's a tutorial on how to create a teacher account and class. You will also need to use the Lesson 7 Teacher Technology Support video to do the following: to connect the microbit to your computer, support students to add in the microbit coding blocks to their computers, and for examples on using the microbit with Scratch coding. For the Explore portion, you'll let students know that they will be working in engineering teams to follow a process to generate and compare designs. You'll show students the Engineering Design Cycle student journal page and review the steps in the engineering cycle. You can post and discuss the engineer, criteria, and constraint vocabulary cards. You'll show students the microbit again and how it can work with Scratch by watching this video as a class. As you watch, pause the video so students can follow along and complete the steps on Scratch on their own devices. You'll ask students how they could use these materials to design a tsunami warning system. You'll divide students into engineering teams and have them use the first page of the Coding Tsunami Warnings student journal page. You'll allow students to develop their codes in Scratch. Teams may need 2 days to complete their coding. For the Explain portion, teams will take turns using the microbit to test their warning systems and compare their solutions with other teams. You can use the Lesson 7 Teacher Technology Support to support them. You'll then invite students to gather to share their detection systems and coded warnings with each other using the microbit. You'll encourage them to provide respectful feedback to each other using the criteria and constraints. You'll use the provided questions to guide your discussion around the question, how can we use high-tech devices to communicate a warning more quickly? The goal of this class discussion is for teams to test their designs and investigate how well they perform and to compare the designs from other teams. You'll have students return to the Coding Tsunami Warnings student journal page and create a diagram showing how Scratch and the microbit are used to detect and send a tsunami warning. For the Elaborate portion, you'll show students the bar graph comparing lives lost in the Japanese and Indonesian tsunamis. You'll ask students how they think technology played a role in protecting people, and if using computer programs might help reduce the impact of tsunamis on people. For the Evaluate portion, you'll use your teacher account in Scratch to assess student tsunami warning messages, along with their detection system diagrams, in the Coding a Tsunami Student Journal page answer key, using the Tsunami Detection System rubric. You'll have students complete the Section 2 summative assessment. By the end of this lesson, students will have designed, tested, and compared a tsunami detection system with warning messages using computer coding that can be transmitted over long distances. This lesson completes the unit. For more information about this unit, visit myscipartners.com.